In a deserted parking area by the coast, 10 people were huddled inside a single car, children sleeping in laps, adults leaning against the steering wheel, squeezed together in the back seat. It was a cold December night. In the middle of winter, 10 people were living inside a sedan. Someone got out of the car. A young woman, 32 years old, a mother of 2. "I need to use the bathroom," she said as she walked into the darkness. She was never seen again. But here's what's truly horrifying. No one in her family called the police. No one searched. No one said a word. They waited 2 days. Then they went to the prosecutor's office and said, "Our sister is missing." This is the story of 2 people who vanished, of a family that fell apart, of how one man destroyed an entire family. A true story. This story is real and based on court records. However, to protect the privacy of victims and defendants, all names, locations, and certain details have been changed. The cities, towns, and street names in this story are fictionalized, but the events are real. First, you need to know about this family. They were a traditional family. Father Harold, Mother Eva, and 5 children: Isaac, Frank, Mary, Ashley, and Emily. Their financial situation was good. Eva owned 5 houses and several properties. They were a happy family, honest people. Neighbors would later say, this family were good people, honorable, decent people, but something happened to them. Mary was born in 1976. She was the oldest child. In 1998, she married a man named Adam. They had 2 children, Melissa and Richard. In 2002, her sister Emily married a man named Tucker. Tucker worked as a janitor in an apartment complex. They had 2 children, Zoe and Ethan. Until 2006, everything was normal. But in 2006, something happened, and the family would never be the same again. In 2006, Mary showed up at her family's door with her 2 young children. She was crying. She had fled from her husband, Adam. She had taken refuge with her family. Adam wanted her back. The family refused. One night, Adam came to the door. He had a knife. "Send Mary out!" he was shouting. Eva called the police. The police came, took everyone to the station, took statements, and sent everyone home. A few days later, when Adam came back, a gunshot was heard. Adam died on the spot. Isaac was arrested. But during the trial, Father Harold took the blame. "I did it to protect my daughter." The court sentenced him to 6 years. In 2006, Harold went to prison. Adam went to his grave. The family's first tragedy had begun. While the father was in prison, son-in-law Tucker slowly began to dominate the family. Who was Tucker? Neighbors and people who knew the family described him this way: a con man, a scammer. He'd do anything for money. But 2 people in the family didn't like him: Father Harold and son-in-law Adam. In 2006, both were removed from the picture, one to prison, one to the grave. And Tucker introduced himself to Eva like this: "I'm a half healer. I have spirits. Through them, I can see everything." Eva believed in talismans, spells, and spirits. So did Isaac. Tucker had found the weak link. He sent his wife Emily to Eva's house. Emily secretly planted talismans in various places around the house. Then Tucker called Eva. "I saw it in my dream. My spirits told me. Look behind your refrigerator." Eva looked. There really was a talisman there. The woman now believed. Tucker had become the all-seeing healer. And slowly he began telling Eva and Isaac something. Mary's husband Adam was giving Mary drugs. At night, he was selling her to men. Eva was shocked. Isaac was furious. But Tucker didn't stop. Every day, every week, for months, he repeated it. And gradually, they both began to believe. While the father was in prison, the entire family moved to the city, to Tucker's janitor apartment. 10 people crammed into a small apartment. Tucker now told the family something new. Mary is a spy. The family of Adam, whom we killed, is planning to murder Isaac and Frank. Mary is giving them information. The family became paranoid. If a car drove by, Tucker would say, "Look, they're following us." If two people walked past, "Those are their people, mafia operatives." No one could leave the house anymore. The curtains were always closed, and the torture of Mary and her children began at home. Tucker and Isaac beat them, injected them with needles, withheld food, locked them in rooms. Richard later recounted, "They gave us beatings, violence, starvation, and locked us in rooms as punishment." Not just him, my uncle Isaac did it too. My grandmother Eva never intervened, but she supported them. In 2007, Tucker made a plan. He needed proof to convince Eva that Mary was dangerous. One day, he took Emily, Mary, and Eva to visit a mosque. The children came along too. The women entered the mosque. 4-year-old Ethan waited outside. And Tucker orchestrated something unthinkable. He took his own son and left him alone in the crowded square, then walked away. Someone found the crying child and took him to the police. It all happened in 10 minutes. Emily and Mary went to the police station and picked up the child. Tucker acted shocked, though this wasn't exactly how he'd planned it. They went to the hospital, and the doctors found disturbing evidence, old injuries that had been inflicted days earlier. Tucker told Eva, "See, Mary kidnapped my child. She gave him to the Thompson family. Look what they did." Eva didn't read the medical report carefully. She believed Tucker. But years later, the security director of the complex went on television and revealed something crucial. Tucker called me 3 days before the mosque incident. He claimed his son was injured and asked for help getting to a hospital. I gave him money. He never went. The injuries had been inflicted before the kidnapping. It was all part of the plan. After this incident, Tucker was fired from the complex, but he had achieved his goal. Eva now believed Mary was a spy working against the family. In 2008, the family moved to Eva's house, and Tucker now openly became a healer. He had a fake beard and robes. Clients came to the house. For $250, he wrote talismans and performed needle therapy. The walls were riddled with holes. Vinegar and alcohol bottles were everywhere. Strange writings covered the walls. A woman later testified, "I went. He wrote me a talisman. I took it home, opened it. It was full of curse words." At night, Tucker would plant talismans in the walls. In the morning, when the family woke up, he'd say, "I saw it in my dream. Look over there." He'd watch as the family tore down walls with tools to find the talisman. "You see, don't you? Witchcraft is being done to you. Don't go outside, they'll kill you." The family had become completely paranoid, and the torture of Richard and Melissa continued. One day, 8 or 9-year-old Richard managed to escape through the window. The handle had been forgotten one day. The child opened the window, left the house, ran. After 500 meters, he collapsed from hunger. Citizens called the police. They brought the child to the station. His hands were riddled with holes. His body was covered with needle marks. There were signs of abuse. He looked like children in starvation photos from Africa. The police asked, "Who did this to you?" The child told them everything. The state took the child into protective custody. He was not returned to Mary. Now only 6-year-old Melissa remained with Mary. In 2008, Tucker decided it was time to finish Mary. First, he took her to the bank. He made her take out his benefits from Adam's death. With the loan, he bought himself a car. Then he took her to a notary. He made her sign power of attorney so her mother could collect her pension. He made her sign documents so the upcoming compensation payment would go to him. Then he took her to a petition writer. He had an absurd petition written based on his own handwriting. "I worked for an organ trafficking ring with Adam. We killed people and harvested their organs. I injected my family with needles at night. I kidnapped Ethan and handed him over to the Thompson family. They held me for 10 days with my eyes blindfolded, but my hands were free." It was an inconsistent, ridiculous petition. Mary signed it. They submitted it to the prosecutor's office. The petition writer, Mr. Smith, kept the original handwriting. Years later, he gave it to the police. Everything was ready. Mary's final days were approaching. Then Tucker did something strange. My spirits told me, "Leave the house. It's cursed." They distributed the furniture from Eva's 4 apartments to the neighbors, and 10 people got into a single sedan. They parked the car by the coast, next to an old dog shelter. It was December, the middle of winter. For 3 months, 10 people lived in that car. One day, Eva's tenants saw them. Smoke was coming from the car. A gas canister was burning inside. They were being poisoned. He opened the door, and he saw something he would never forget. Mary was tied to a tree. Her body was bruised, covered with needle marks, skeletal from starvation. Melissa was in the same condition. "Aren't you ashamed?" he shouted. "Untie her!" They untied her in fear. That evening, Isaac and Tucker came to the man's house. "Can you lend us a shovel, a pickaxe, and an axe? We'll return them tomorrow." It was the night of December 21st, 2008. The man gave them the tools. The next day, they returned them, but everything was sparkling clean, as if scrubbed with detergent. On the night of December 20th, 2008, Mary got out of the car. "I need to use the bathroom," she said. She was never seen again. On December 22nd, Isaac went to the prosecutor's office. "My sister's missing. I suspect her deceased husband's family." A missing person report was filed. The family left the car, found a house, and continued living, but Mary was gone. In 2009, the family moved to a small village. Melissa was with her grandmother. In August, they went to pick hazelnuts. Melissa stayed in the village. 4 days later, they returned. "Where's Melissa?" a neighbor asked. Her aunt came and took her, but no one had seen anyone. Melissa had vanished too. January 20th, 2011, Harold was released from prison. He met with Tucker. Mary was killed. Her grave is by the coast. He met with Eva. "We killed 2 people." On March 31st, 2011, Harold went to the police. He told them everything. The police called in Eva. Eva told her story and signed. Ashley told her story and signed. Frank told his story and signed. An entire family collectively confessed to 2 murders. But a few months later, they all recanted. "We were threatened. We lied. No one was killed." The trial lasted for years. There were no bodies. There was no evidence. The police dug up beaches. They found nothing. No one was in prison. Everyone was free. In 2019, the family appeared on a TV show. "We're searching for our missing loved ones," they said. Tucker had told the family, "I saw it in my dream. We're going to be on the show. We'll become famous." And on live television, they started accusing each other. The show lasted 40 episodes. Millions watched. Finally, the police arrested them all. The court issued its verdict. Tucker received 2 aggravated life sentences. The others received sentences ranging from 8 to 12 years. Tucker is still in prison. The others were released. No one knows where they are, but questions remain. Were Mary and Melissa really killed? Where are the bodies? How did Tucker manipulate an entire family? Neighbors said, "This family were good people, but that man came and they all went crazy." Why did 10 people live in a car for 3 months? Why did he torture his own child? Why did Eva and Isaac believe everything? The answers remain in the dark. Only one thing is certain. One man completely destroyed a family, and 2 people vanished, never to be seen again. But questions remain. Were Mary and Melissa really killed? Where are the bodies? How did Tucker manipulate an entire family? Neighbors said, "This family were good people, but that man came and they all went crazy." Why did 10 people live in a car for 3 months? Why did he torture his own child? Why did Eva and Isaac believe everything? The answers remain in the dark. Only one thing is certain. One man completely destroyed a family, and 2 people vanished, never to be seen again.